It's time now to ask the expert. Here to answer your questions live on the air is Brett the vet. Okay, we're inundated, Brett, as always. Our first question is from Linda in Scottsdale. How often should we have our dog's teeth cleaned? Good question.
Hi, Linda. Great question. I say start early and do it yourself.
Yes.
Work on brushing those teeth. If you do that, you can keep the hygiene good and avoid that advanced clinical disease which requires my care, which also requires anesthesia. So we have programs that I like to talk to my clients about of brushing, using products to soften the tartar in your mouth, and most importantly, finding something good and safe to chew on. I think I've told you folks in the past, Josie loves rawhide, and she gets entertained by it for an hour or two, and that mechanical action of chewing scrapes the teeth. So if you have good hygiene, you can avoid the dental chair, sometimes for the life of your pet, saving you thousands.
Yeah, thousands. Okay, ooh, I'm glad. Oh, and by the way, how often? You think once a week? Like, what do you think?
3 times a day, or three times a week.
Three times a week. Okay. I'm gonna get my kids on it. All right, our next viewer question. I have an American Staffordshire Terrier pit bull. His nose has gotten really dry over the last couple weeks. I bought nose balm from the store and it doesn't seem to be doing much good. What could I do to make it better for him? He doesn't seem to be in pain, but it's flaking and peeling.
That is a fine looking beast there. Look at him. I'll tell you what, this is interesting because you brought it up earlier with Ginger about the barometric pressures. Also with that are what we call the vernal transition or the equinox, where the weather's changing, and the nose is somewhat tied to that. Okay? These circadian rhythms really affect the nose. So you're seeing that nose as a result of the weather. Now, keep rubbing the balm on it because there's nothing you can really do about it, but it is seasonal. We like to think it's seasonal. It'll get better with time. So just keep rubbing the nose balm or something else on there. Your dog just licks it off anyway.
I know. Interesting. It affects not only humans, but our pets too.
That's right.
All right, Brady from Sholo, he says, I have a 7-year-old Schnauzer and Chihuahua mix. I put about 1 tablespoon of cottage cheese with his dry food each morning. Is that okay? I've never heard of dogs eating cottage cheese.
Poor Brady, you only get 1 tablespoon?
Wow, I guess it's not bad, huh?
1 is fine, as long as he tolerates it. Yeah, stay with the low fat though.
Really? Cottage cheese is okay?
Sure, I think so.
Are there
in
any
moderation.
health benefits?
No, just the calcium and the dairy and the proteins are good, and he loves it. And if he tolerates it and it's low fat, I'd say you're good to go, Brady.
Well, all right, you go with that cottage.
Lucky dog.
I know, really. Okay, the next one. I have a golden doodle with a very sensitive stomach and came home today to soupy piles of poop. Is there a probiotic or something I could give him for better gut health? We stick solely to dog food and no table stuff.
'Tis the season for blah and blah, vomiting and diarrhea. With this weather, rain, wind, comes GI problems. And it's the good news is I'm going to guess it's not your dog, but it's the environment causing this. If he goes out and just sniffs around and eats something, your backyard's kind of like going to Mexico and brushing your teeth with the tap water. You get the blah and the blah. So it's very vomiting and diarrhea. So like the Pepto commercial. So really probiotics can help. Sometimes they aggravate the diarrhea because a probiotic is bacteria. And when you're eating that bacteria, sometimes you're just adding insult to injury. So I say keep it simple. If the diarrhea gets too nasty with blood, you might go get some antibiotics to clear that up. We use a medication called metronidazole that really firms up the stool pretty quick. I find probiotics can be overused a bit, so maybe don't jump to that one too quick.
Okay, interesting. All right.
It's not your dog, it's the environment.
Okay, all right. Rashid in Chandler says, should I get pet insurance for my Arizona desert tortoise?
Rashid,
this whole time we kept talking about dogs and cats.
Rashid, man, I don't know the answer to that. I'd have to check and see if it's available. But desert tortoise, the premiums for 100 years.
Wow, you may want to rethink that. Yeah, that's, I don't know, outweigh, you know.
Great question.
Save or pet insurance?
You know, I'll have to think about that, but I'd say look at the premiums if it's a low cost.
And how long they live.
There are some excellent tortoise vets here in town, and I know some of them, they can do pretty amazing things, and those bills can also be big. So it's actually a very interesting question that I've never thought about, Rashid, so thanks for bringing it to our attention.
Our next segment, Stump Brett the Vet.
You did.
All right. Well, I know